Genius information session for educators today. Today with me on panel is Ms. Riti Singh, who has been working as a career and guidance counselor with the City Montessori group of schools in Lucknow for the past many years, and has helped students excel into their college careers pretty well. Currently, Smriti ma'am is working in Mumbai with the Vijay Bhumi University in a special program called the Student Connect, and we would love to know about that too. Without any further ado, I would now like to pass it over to Mr. Devesh Lati to commence the session. We will be recording the session for you to revisit it in the future again, and Q&A would be taken towards the end. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Devika. And thank you, Smriti, for joining us for this session today. It's always a pleasure to have you. So as we get going, let's first start by learning about what is the Next Genius Scholarship Program. So the Next Genius Scholarship Program is a program which helps students with scholarships for their undergraduate education in the US. We have been helping students, supporting them for the past 6 years now, and this is our 7th year. And over these 6 years, we have had over 170 students who have won a Next Genius Scholarship and have benefited from this. These students are now in the US and they are sort of pursuing their undergraduation. But Next Genius scholarships are not just about the scholarships, it's about the community that we have built around these students. When a student wins a scholarship, they become a part of our whole community where they support each other, where they help each other, where the juniors are mentored by their seniors. And when you go into your senior years, you start mentoring your juniors. So it's about winning the scholarships and joining a community which supports each other. As we go ahead, here are some numbers. Here are some interesting numbers for you, which will tell you about how the program has been what is the impact of the program over the past few years. So we have had 178 scholars from 102 unique high schools from across India. And when you see the gender ratio, it's fairly even. Almost 50% are boys, 50% are girls. Then there are some interesting facts about which cities, which kind of cities they are from, what kind of curriculums or school these students are from, what is the average scholarship these school students won, and what are the most popular majors that these students are studying at college. So I'll just pause here for a moment and I'll just let you see these numbers before moving forward. Okay. So what do we see? What is the eligibility criteria for the students when they apply to us for scholarships? And what do we look for when these students apply for scholarships? So the number one, the eligibility is that that you should be in grade 12 or gap year. So it's only for grade 12 students or gap year students. It's not for grade 11 or younger students. Only your current year, if you are going to apply to college this year, then it's for you. Then the Next Genius Scholarship Program is for you. Number two is you should either be an Indian citizen studying anywhere in the world. If you're an Indian citizen, it's okay to be not in India, but or you should be studying at a high school in India. So anyone who's studying at any high school in India is eligible for a scholarship. And if you're not studying in India, but if you're studying abroad, if you are doing your schooling from outside India, then you should be an Indian citizen. And what do we look for in our scholars? Well, we look for critical thinking skills. We do an online test where we evaluate your critical thinking and your creative problem solving skills. We look at your personal vision. Why do you want to go to the US? What do you want to study and things like that? And what do you want to do with your education? So we look at your personal vision. Why this scholarship is important for you. This helps us understand your personality better. Point number 4 is we look at your confidence and charisma. So Next Genius process, the process has a couple of interviews that all the students need to go through. And in this process, we evaluate your personality. We try to understand you better, and we see how well you have planned your sort of education. And so confidence and charisma is an important part of the process. And finally, college fit. This is the most important aspect when you apply to us for scholarships. When you're applying, we ask you about what kind of college do you want to go to. A college, different colleges good are a good fit for different students. There might be some college which you might find you would be a good fit into. So we pay massive attention to a good fit. So while you apply to us, we ask you questions which help us understand which college would be a good fit for you. I'll quickly go through the process, the application process, which will help you understand a little more. And then after that, we'll invite Smriti and Devika to share their insights. So, as you heard, Smriti has been a career counselor for a very long time, and she has supported lots of students. So, she would help you gain lots of insights into the application process. So let me just go through the steps one by one, and then I'll pass it on back to you. So the applications for the program has already started. The application started a few months ago, a couple of months ago, and it will go on till October 10th. So you can still go online, search for Next Genius scholarships, or go to our website, that is next-genius.com, and you can apply to us. There is a very simple online application form that you can fill. Once you fill that application form, you are then invited to the next steps, which is interviews, which is the online critical thinking assessment. This online test is something which you can take from your home, of course, and it has questions on maths and English. It is an objective test, and it has questions from grade 10 level maths and English. Once you take that test, the next step is college selection. Now, in this step, you go through the list of colleges that Next Genius has, and you select the colleges that you find a good fit for yourself. So you tell us about your college preferences, then we allocate you just one college from that list, and that is the college that has been sort of assigned to you or allocated to you. So you then go ahead and complete your full college application for that particular college. And after finally completing your application, you are interviewed by Next Genius and by the colleges. So with that, let me just pause over here. I do have a couple more slides, but that we can, I have a video to share, but let's take that video after, hearing from Smriti and Devika. Over to you, Devika.
Thank you so much, and welcome once again, Smriti ma'am. So I would love to start with by asking you, how has it helped you as a counselor being associated with Next Genius, your experience as a counselor with Next Genius?
Oh, thank you, Devika, for this question and for bringing me on this platform. So, working with Next Genius has kind of, evolved those students in the process where they were worried about that. First of all, how do I apply? Second, when and how will the process be facilitated? And the last thing was that, will I be able to support my education in the entire period of studies or not? So I would say with the support of Next Genius, quite a lot of my students were able to fulfill their dreams, and they were able to step in, when they used to say that, ma'am, I'm really bothered that will I be able to pull through this process or not, because my parents would be able to support, but they might not be completely ready for it. But with the support of Next Genius, I think the transition, it became easier, and it became easier for the parents as well. It became easier for me as a school counselor, and it became more smoother to do the process of transition for the students. So that's how Next Genius has played a vital role as a support system, where transitioning was easy. Parents didn't have much to bother. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. This interests me to ask you, how has this been a life-changing opportunity for your students? How has the scholarships helped them?
Okay, so Devika, I'll bring a very interesting point here that is not actually related to the scholarships. So there was a student of mine who walked in because there is a pre-interview, right? After clearing the screening test, there's an interview round. So I said that, will you be applying for that? So he said, ma'am, I'm really very excited about the interview part. I said, what excites you? He said, generally what happens is that being a school student, when we have to face interviews, it becomes very difficult for us. So even preparing for the next genius rounds of interviews with the team and with other members, excited the students towards planning and preparing. So it was not completely about the process that, okay, they're going to end up getting a scholarship, but the entire procedure, first the screening test. So obviously, and the second most important thing, yeah, the alignment of the entire procedure with the US education system of application. So the students are not lagging behind, they are on time, rather I would say a little bit ahead of the calendar that is prepared, right? That's one thing which really helped me, because when I used to say, okay, this is the last attempt that you're going to give to for SAT, then they always used to say, okay ma'am, we're preparing for the screening test also, so please don't worry. And I used to worry about their interview, so they used to say that, ma'am, there's an extraneous interview, so we're going to prepare for that, then there's one more round of interview. So the best part of the next genius scholarship, the procedure, the program, the first thing, the first basic which used to excite the students more, was that it was a little ahead of time, where they had marked, okay, they were prepared before time for their applications. Second thing, something that is an interview, which is which will happen to a child only when he's selected. So that was also like preparing the children for the interview and supporting the scholarships. So belonging to a tier 2 city, uh, taking on it as a challenge for the students who really want to fulfill their dreams of going to a liberal art university, because I would say liberal art, it's still not completely absorbed by I would say a North Indian parent. I would not completely say it's not taken very nicely, but yes, it's a little difficult to absorb, because they clearly say that, okay, if you do a humanity, you are preparing for administrative services, and then why do you need to go abroad for that? So for me, it kind of became a little easier, because there were students who wanted to study political science or something which is related to business and international relations. So the scholarships and the entire process empowered my students. Okay, this is the entire process that we're going to follow, and this is the end result of it. So probably that entire procedure and the outcome of it was so simple and so supportive that I did not feel that it will create any troubles for the students. So it did very well for my students. I think over 20 students have been already awarded the scholarship, and there are students who have graduated. So if I remember, Alia, she belonged to a family, uh, probably I would not even imagine that she would go to any other school or college apart from Lucknow. But she landed up in Rochester and she completed her undergrad. I can't tell you that her younger sister also followed on her footsteps. And I mean, so this is just an example, how the procedure became so smooth for for all the stakeholders, I would say, for the parents, for us, for the student as well.
Absolutely. It was lovely hearing from you that we always like hearing from our counselors about how the experiences of their students have been. From which I would like to know, as you mentioned, there are 20 to 20 plus students who have already been awarded Next Genius scholarships from CMS. What do they have to tell you once they come back to you, maybe from campus or from their Tech Genius journey? What all stories do they have?
Oh, that's really great. So that's a wow moment. First of all, let me just share with you. That's a really wow moment, because this year the child who's got into Juniata, and someone who's I mean, there were two kids who, who just came running, because at that time the school was not virtual, and they just said that, ma'am, we have made it, and we are considering, because again these students were those who were having uh, the backup plan. I mean, their original plan was to settle in India. The original plan was not to go to US, but because it was so well, I would say, again, facilitated, that at the end of the day they said that, we are ready to go for this particular journey. So if I really talk about that, okay, Alia had some great stories, that which, to the level that I said, that she could actually inspire. She was a real hero of the Next Genius Scholarship, because I also attended her session, and she was like, again, I told you that the journey itself is like, when the awards happen and the students go to Mumbai to attend those awards, then their pictures are shared, like now, because you're doing a lot of social media, and when their pictures are shared, that this child has been a Next Genius scholar. So there's a lot of respect of theirs that goes in the fraternity, which is it comes out of sheer hard work, that you walked a little extra mile to get, or to get this, to be awarded with the scholarship. It was not just like, okay, I applied and it happened. So I mean, and one more thing. So Next Genius has been really picking up some real gems of my school. So all the students who, I would say the procedure is really difficult to get through, because I also tell the students that, listen, be very careful. It might not be, you might not clear the screening test. And there have been examples where the students who were a little deviated did not clear either the screening test or the interview round. And kind of like they took it for, like, okay, I'll be able to do it because I've been doing this, doing that kinds. So a little complacency really hurt them bad. So for coming back to Alia, so she had some real stories right from the step one, as in the screening test and the interview, and then again going to Mumbai, being awarded. uh, I think she personified the kind of happiness which is related to liberal education. She really did it. Like, so for all the other students also, she was a hero for us. And she had stories, obviously, that the kind of support that has happened to her in the procedure, even related to the documents that was supported from the Next Genius team. She was really happy about that. So that's about the student experience.
That was lovely to know, and I'm sure we can never get enough of hearing what these students have to tell once they are back. Uh, I have something very interesting to ask, because I myself would love to know that when you prepare your students for the Next Genius journey, and when they come to you for guidance, and when you counsel them about how to go about it, how to go about with it, so what are the top 3 to 5 things that you tell them that this is something that you have to take care about while going ahead? That would really help us know what students think when they apply to us.
So the first thing, Devika, I tell them is take it very seriously. That's the first thing that I tell them, that it's not easy to get a scholarship completely. By easy, I mean that, at times students probably do not understand the amount of efforts that are put in a particular endeavor. So that has to go from my side very clearly, that once you are preparing for the Next Genius Scholarship program, be very serious about it. Be very clear about the list of colleges where you want to apply. Go through the list thoroughly, check the programs that you want to apply, because your application has to be to that program in which you're applying, because you know there are several programs that are available. And one thing that obviously Next Genius has done over a couple of years, when I started, I remember the number was a little smaller, but obviously the universities have now grown in number. There's the family has grown, so there are a lot of new universities that have come in, and I mean, I would say this is a very good selection of universities for a student who's looking up to programs. So the first thing is I say is be very serious, prepare every round carefully, uh, be it anything and everything. The second thing is preparing the list of universities, because if you're not clear about that, you will not be able to prioritize your preferences. So going through the university list very carefully, very thoroughly, checking the programs. Without that, I generally, if a student comes back to me saying this thing that ma'am, probably my program is not on the list, so I then tell them that then we should not get into the procedure. So if the program which you're applying to is there on the list, the university that you want to go is on the list, then only will take the effort of doing it. The third thing is that once we start the application, my major support which comes out of Next Genius is that my students are a little ahead of the actual timeline which the US education system follows. So that has over a couple of years helped me a lot, because I've been telling them that, did you write the essays that have been asked? Have you prepared that? Are you preparing for the interview or not? So that has helped me to gear up with the entire application procedure. So these little 3-4 things I've always told them to keep it in mind. And yes, one more thing. So Next Genius has also come up with programs which were engaging the students. So I have always told the students that there are very quality based programs. You can always engage in experience based learning with Next Genius. So that has also been taken very well in my school, because obviously I won't say that there are less of opportunities, but I would say there are less of qualitative opportunities that are available to students. So that has helped my students. These are few things, Devika, which I generally tell students before applying.
Absolutely. Loved hearing your insights on the same. And before I ask you to, give your word of your few words to other counselors as to what you have to say to them, I would like to ask you one last question. That what do you feel that how better can we prepare ourselves to answer students' questions? Because hearing from a counselor that what their students wants to know from us, I'm sure they do ask us, they reach out to us in many ways, but I would love to know what a counselor needs to tell us, that this is what you can expect our students asking about.
So majorly, Devika, students are majorly confused about their courses. To be very honest, that is one thing which confuses the students most. So at times what happens is there are two universities which are having almost the same level of courses that are offered. They are very academically oriented. They are having the rigor. They're having the kind of I would say the setup that a student wants to join in. So everything is there, everything is in line. But then what happens is the child get confused that, should I keep this on priority, should I keep that on priority? Because when they connect with the professors and everyone, then they feel, okay, wow, I can go. Then they start referring the ranking of the universities, which is a kind of which misleads the students. Also, there is no reference. I mean, if you do not look at the ranking, then probably all of us do that, right? So I cannot say that you can just overlook that. So probably if we could help the students in kind of when we take the first round of interview, after they clear the first round of interview, which is a pre-interview kind of a thing, which Devesh just said, that you need to have a personality, you need to have something that you have already done through these years, right? So while we are in that process, we can engage with the students to clear their doubts on as in which majors and which college, because you are very clear. I mean, the team is very clear about that the university is offering these many courses. But probably a child is not that clear. So that's one thing that from my side I face, that kids do come even at the end that I've got 2 colleges to choose, and this is good at this is good at that. What do I do? So that's the major trouble. Yeah.
Absolutely loved knowing that, and I'm sure we'll guide them better on this subject. So I would now like you to share your final words with the counselors and educators who
Okay.
would hear you and would love to know your
See, I have been, I would not say from the onset, but right from the first day onwards, the day I joined CMS, that year itself, Alia was awarded the full scholarship, right? So I won't say that I have this inkling, but I am clearly the kind of support that has been given from the team, from the program, has been commendable. And from a counselor's point of view, it has really helped me, because I have a different section altogether of students. Will not categorize them in any economic structure, but will obviously relate more to the kind of perceptions they have, to the kind of dreams they want to achieve. So the journey of transition for me with Next Genius program, especially for those students who wanted to pick up something on their own, I think the program has empowered my student as well as my institution and me. So I think all the stakeholders of an institution were completely supported by the team. I never heard that when my student wanted to reach out to anyone, the team wasn't there. So every time, they came up with this thing that, ma'am, even if it may email, probably in the middle of the night, there would be someone to respond. So from my side, I would say that from the first day onwards, working with in CMS, I was supported by an Next Genius, and the journey was really good for me and my students as well. So, for anyone who's joining the office and you have students who are aspiring but not very well supported by the parents, I think there's a support out there, and you can reach out, you can extend your hand. Devesh is, I don't know, like he's always there for help. Neeraj is always there for help. So, I mean, I would say it's a great support to a counselor's desk.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for talking so highly of us, and we loved hearing your perspective on the Next Genius Scholarship Program, and I'm sure we want to hear you more in the future. So I would now like to pause and pass it over to Mr. Devesh Lati.
Thank you so much, Devika, and thank you so much for your very kind words, Smriti. It's overwhelming for us. Your support has been incredible. In fact, it's not just us. You have also helped us, guided us in creating this process, since you have been with us since the beginning. So you have told us these are the things we should be working on. So your support has been instrumental. So with that, I'm just going to share one final thing with all of you. There is this one video that we created. And 1 second. Just a second. So this is a video with 10 things that you need to know about Next Genius. And with that, I think we'll just end the session. This video is created by a Next Genius scholar who shared 10 things to know about Next Genius. So I'll just play that video for you. It's a 3-minute video.
Hey there, I'm Samyukta Rajnarayan. Hey there, I'm Samyukta Rajnarayanan, and I am a Next Genius scholar. I study at Texas Christian University. I am a rising junior with an electrical engineering major and a math minor. I also study at the John B. Roach Honors College at TCU. In this video, I'll be taking you through 10 things about the Next Genius Scholarship Program that I wish I knew when I first applied to it. Number 1, the Next Genius community. Your journey with Next Genius doesn't end but begins when you receive a scholarship. Not only do you as a scholar receive outstanding scholarships, you also end up being a part of the Next Genius community, which lends to you multiple opportunities in the form of internships, leadership positions, volunteering, mentoring, being an ambassador for your school, and so on. Number 2, majors. Most of the Next Genius partner colleges are liberal arts institutions, which means you can choose your major based on your own passion and interest. You can additionally also choose to go to college as undecided, meaning that you can choose your major once you've tested things out later on. Number 3, testing. All Next Genius partner colleges are test optional. The college won't penalize you if you wish to not submit your scores. However, it doesn't hurt to submit if you've taken it. Number 4, the English proficiency test. The Duolingo English test is accepted at all Next Genius partner colleges. Additionally, Next Genius also gives fee waivers for the test to students with high financial need. Number 5, scholarships. The Next Genius Scholarship Program covers the tuition component of your undergrad experience. Additionally, Next Genius scholarships are non-binding, which means that you have 3 months to decide whether you want to accept the scholarship or not. Number 6, fee waivers. Next Genius applicants get common app fee waivers for the college application process. Number 7, eligibility. Grade 12 and gap year students from our curriculums like CBSE, IB, HSC, etc. can apply to the scholarship program. Also, students who do not have active school counselors can opt to receive help from the Next Genius team for their college applications. Number 8, resources. The Next Genius College Comparison Matrix is a very valuable resource that gives you up-to-date information about all the Next Genius partner institutions. While submitting the college preferences through the Level 2 form, use this resource to gain insights about all the colleges and identify good fit colleges for yourself. Number 9, the journey and the process itself. The Next Genius selection process is unique, personalized, and guidance-oriented. The team visits cities across India in search of good fit students from grade 12. There are no hidden charges when you apply for the program. The only fee that you actually pay is the one-time registration fee of Rs 500 when you first apply to the program. There is a small refundable fee, a deposit that you pay when you reserve a spot for your interview. But this deposit is fully refunded once you go through the Next Genius process. Number 10, college admissions. There is a direct access to college admissions, which means that as an Next Genius applicant, you get the opportunity to interact with the college admissions officers time and again, either through information sessions or through the interview process itself. Additionally, there is a strong community of Next Genius scholars at each campus, which makes you feel at home at all times.
So that were the 10 points about Next Genius. We are in a phase where Next Genius scholars have started graduating and they are doing great things in life. Anushka, the very first scholar, is pursuing her post-graduation at Rice University, and Tanvi Pandey is pursuing her post-graduation in Columbia. Whereas Rishil Seth, who was also one of our first scholars, is working at a fintech company in Boston. That's just a few of our scholars. There are more scholars who are also who have started working or are going to grad school. This is the list of Next Genius partner colleges, and at this moment I'll not go into the details of this, but I just share one resource with you. It's called the College Comparison Matrix. A College Comparison Matrix, the link for which I'll just add in the chat box, is a resource which all of you can use to learn more about the Next Genius partner colleges. With that, I think we are coming towards the end of the session. If there are any Q&A, we can take now. And I think we are to close. I'll stop the recording now and we'll take the Q&A for the next 5 minutes. Thank you everyone for joining.